that if you thought the previous chapters was crazy, well, let me just tell you, this whole chapter right here is godly. And not just to say godly, but let's just say at the end of this chapter, you will know why I say it's godly on another scale. So One Piece chapter 1149, titled 1 Second. Now, where we left off previous chapter is, well, let's just say Saint Summers decided it was a good idea to kidnap not kidnap, but decided it was a good idea to invade the island and put his son to death, basically. Or not to death, but fall off more like jumping off a cliff, but basically here is where we at right now. So here we are and then Saint Summers dashed all the way, and his wife Ripley told her husband, Scalper, go straight to where our son is. Now hurry before it's too late. And I'm thinking in my head, Scalper Gabon, knowing he cares for his family and his son and his wife, says, okay, you know what, time to lock in, blitzes forward to where Summer is, slashes him, and then he cut Saint Summers clean, just like that. And it hurted him too. Not only that it hurt him, but you gotta remember last chapter, well, not even last chapter, that if you remember from, I forgot what chapter it was, but it was Saint Saturn. Saint Saturn's wasn't damaged by a bib, but when Bonnie went to stab Saint Saturn's and then captured Bonnie, he ripped the weapon out of him, and the wound instantly healed, just like that. But now, all of a sudden, Saint Summers is not healing because of what Scalper Gabon decided to use. We don't know what type of hockey he is or what type of technique he used. Even everybody else is watching this. Oh, what the hell did he use to damage him or hurt him that badly? Because clearly Usopp has blasted Gunko with everything he got, but she instantly healed back. So here we are. So where we left off, and everybody's left in shock, where Saint Summers cut and injured Saint Summers. I keep saying Saint Saturn's or Saturn, but he's laying on the ground, wrapping in pain, and everybody's wondering who is that. And the caption on the left hand panel says, the Pirate King's left hand emerges from nowhere. Well, I did say that if it would take a little bit of time, and I did say that last chapter, it will take some time. If Robin can hold out for a tiny bit until Scalper Gabon gets towards where Say Summer is, that's good enough. And you see Chopper hanging out in the background while Robin, not in the background, but still hiding, while Robin goes in and do something. Now, I was just assuming that if Scalper Gabon can make it to Robin, that's a plus. If not, well, that's a different story. So here we are. And Say Summer's just writhing on the ground, cursing Scalper Gabon. And Usopp is saying, well, that worked? But what did you use to hurt him that much? He's writhing in pain, right? And even Scalper Gabon, after slicing down, I was going to say Saint Summers, but Saturn, but Saint Summers, a lot of S's in that one. Even Scalper Gabon even said, oh, I guess I'm still rusty. Same thing Rayleigh said, but sure, we all can be this strong. And then, not only then, Scalper Gabon begins to twirl his axe and goes for the kill against Saint Summers. But Saint Summers blocks it with a wall of thorns, and this is where it's a crazy fight. I'm not going to say. Summers says, Mountain Eater, why are you in Elbath? Why are you here? I thought you all of a sudden went off to another island like Rayleigh, basically, because Saint Summers was super surprised to see Scopper Gabon on this island. He was so surprised that it caught him off guard and made his eyes pop out, and it was like, Scopper Gabon? He was surprised the left hand of the king of the pirates, Goldie Roger, was here on this island, which that was a shocker. More of a shocker is why he expected to him be in New World, by the way. So, well, even Scopper Gabon says, well, nothing's wrong with a serious talk, right? And then he said, and Usopp was like, you met him at the castle? And this is where Jinbei starts, or Colin starts to say, so Luffy and Zoro were totally overwhelmed by him, which is true, and they were holding back, or he was holding back. He's the father of Colin, the kid we met at school. Everybody, and Usopp said, that old guy? And then Jinbei says, well, unless I misheard what he just said, he called him Scopper Gabon. And he even, one of them said he's equal to Rayleigh. He's the left hand of the Pirate King. I would say they both equal. But the difference is they are getting old. So they can't really do nothing against a God's Knight. Ooh. I'll wait till the end of the chapter to say that. That sort of person is in the land of giants. Shocker, I know. Well, you gotta remember the backstory too of why Scopper Gabon is there too. So Scopper is lying in a safe place where both him and Robin hid from St. Summers. Even though St. Summers knew they were there, but didn't start bothering. Anyway, Sharper says the attacks are really having a impact. How come? And Robin's trying to get out, and even Jinbei says, Robin, stop it. You're going to end up inflicting yourself with those, not rose thorns, but the thorns. And then we transition back to Summers and Scopper Gabon's battle. St. Summers said uses an attack called Thorn Rush, and a bunch of thorns pop out from the ground and goes straight to Scopper Gabon. Also, he uses a attack also in a combination to Thorn Rush, Hell of the Crimson Lotus on top of Thorn Rush. So he used them both together. And Scopper Gabon jumps, and how funny how Scopper Gabon is known as a mountain eater. And he jumps, and well, you already know where he got his title from. So he put his whole force into his swing, and he screams his attack, Futen Raikou, and boom! I would say this part of the body gets cut in half by Scopper Gabon's attack, which splits his sword, Thorn Sword, and himself, but the upper part of the body clean in half. And whoo, as Scopper Gabon did forgot that he summoned thorns, so he threw his axe. I think he threw it. No, it looks like it was a good comparison. How somebody wants to, similar to Sonic's, it's similar to how Sonic uses spin dash, but with a barrier on top. If you don't get it, because it's full of thorns. So the only way he can get past is either jumping real far to a place with no thorns, or to cut through it. So that's what happened, and everybody was shocked. However, when Chopper sees Saint Summers, he sees Saint Saturn. It's an influence in this one. Just got done watching a One Piece episode. Anyways, Chopper goes straight beeline towards Saint Summers, which is a bad idea. Don't know why you're doing that. So his reason is doing that is because he got to discover the weakness towards the God's Knights, because they keep healing whenever they inflict damage. But Scopper Gabon somehow damaged him, but he doesn't know that. But the others don't know how he did it. So, like I said, spur in the moment, they got no choice. Saint Quilham decided to, once Ange gave him the list of names and gave permission, Quinn Helm said, well, time to burn the whole school down. And that's what he did, basically. Burned the whole school down, burned everything down, which that kind of upset Robin a bit. And then King Jorah, or not King Jorah, but Jorah, he's even upset about what he said. But let's be honest, it's all named good. Now, Quinn Helm relays this to Gunko. He said, oh, the missions are complete, or withdraw the child. Now, even one of the children says, oh, I'm sorry, maybe I should have jumped. And you just see Scarborough Gabon after Gunko is doing all this and that with the children, trying to get them to back away, keep them aligned, basically. Anyways, after she pulls back Ronja, Scarborough Gabon is woohoo, no stopping train in motion. After he got done taking care of Saint Summers, he proceeds to keep going and blitz towards where the children is. He's about to take on Gunko. So after he dealt with Saint Summers, it's go time with Gunko. So culture, history, children, even military might. You have no right to take that away. And Gunko said the Pirate King's crew, you do know resisting means the hostages will die, right? And the children's like not Saint Summers, but you got Gunko. Arrow is trying to do something, and let's just say this: in Scarborough Gabon's mind, he says, "Don't give it away, Colin." Even Scarborough Gabon knows that Colin is among the children, and if he says that's my father, that's gonna be a wrap. That's what's gonna kill. This is what's gonna be Scarborough Gabon's undoing in this chapter. I'm not gonna lie, because they got leverage over not only the children but his son. So that's not good, and it falls stronger than his son, by the way. So come on now. But well, we all know where that leads. And Colin ends up saying, that's my dad, everybody. My dad's stronger than everyone else. And Gunko looks straight at him and be like, what you just say? And Scarborough Gabon is like, ah, shit. Well, that was a good run. And he speeds blitz and kind of trying to, oh wait, no. Scarborough Gabon almost got Gunko. But Gunko was quick on the offense and went straight to Colin with our arrow devil fruit and stopped at where Colin is, which to the neck right here. Off you if you insist. And well, Colin says, get off you if you insist. Challenging me means only one thing. This is my last chance. Even Scarborough Gabon says this too. This is my last chance. If I act now, the fires can be put out. The kids can be rescued and Elbath will be safe. It will have to be done in an instant. Like I said before, if Scarborough Gabon can do this, if he, like his wife Ripley did, told Scarborough Gabon, hurry and save our son, he rushed, and I'm betting that took him not even 2 minutes to hop for point A to point B towards where Saint Summers and the kids are, right? And Gunko. So that didn't take no effort. If Robin would have kept Saint Summers busy for, I would estimate 2 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes until Scarborough Gabon instantly got to him and twink, sliced him in half. That would have been good. But I don't think Saint Summers is down yet, guys, because come on now. Those healing factors, oh boy. So basically Scarborough Gabon's hyping himself up. If he will go beyond because his age was holding him back. Remember, he's not in his prime no more. So he got to pull all the stops in this single strike. Scarborough Gabon says, Colin, just give me 1 second. Hold on, you're a strong kid. And well, too bad. Gunko says, well, a life can't be returned. If you attack me, it's a wrap for your son. And cannot express this, but basically she has a weapon towards his neck. It doesn't take much for Gunko to cut somebody down, especially with her power and effort. But a flashback occurs in Scarborough Gabon's mind of her, not her, but of his wife and his child, and they were born of colon. When the flashback occurs, it's a wrap. Good or bad, it's not good. So with new anger for making him push forward, and he see a little bit of blood, it was too late. But that future hockey kicked in, and he saw into the future, and he saw his son get pierced in the neck and just died, and he shot, his face dropped, his confidence and courage just boom, done. And he drops his weapon and he just says, please stop, I give up. And then Gunko says, you're such a weak being. And he pierces Scarpa Gabon. She pierces Scarpa Gabon with her arrows, and Scarpa Gabon falls off the cliff. And everybody's shocked at what's going on. However, something does happen. And they said, and something jogged Gunko's memory. Oh, my apologies, Brooke. And she says, Brooke, is that you, Brooke? And she runs towards where Brooke is, and almighty godly presence has descended upon Elbath. And he says, I quote, what is with all of this commotion? And Quinhelm even says, oh shit, great emu. And he continues, the Holy Land is currently in a sea of flames. Thou seems to require additional military force. All of a sudden, memories of Gunko starts to come back, and you just see Brooke. You see, my dream is to be a pirate. Well, we don't know who says this. And we can tell it's Brooke in the flashback in Goku's memory, because Brooke said, oh. However, something triggered in Goku's memory, which takes over Gunko, basically. And the godly being says, Mu will show thee dominion of a god. God's event, chapter 1149 ends. So, final thoughts on this chapter. Well, I gotta say that, well, we all knew what was gonna happen because not only does Shanks have it, has the hockey to see into the future, right? Because he saw what was gonna happen to all of his allies when Captain Mid decides to destroy every single one of his allies' ship with his pump cannon, or damn punk, I think it was called, his move. The big old cannon he got on his arm that boom shot everything in sight. Or actually what actually done in Big Mom, by the way. So shocking there when that situation arises. Shanks, oh well, gotta get there before anything else, and then boom. Rayleigh, I think, does have the same power to see in the future as I'm gonna say everybody does. Every once you get to that level, you be able to see that what's gonna happen in the future, even bad or basically bad future. So what I'm trying to say is Scarpa Gabon saw that and was like, damn it, I give up, just please stop, I give up. Because he saw his son get pierced in the neck. The moment he closes in on Gunko to take her out or behead her with his, whatever the power he used to make Tay Summers bleed and hurt badly, or stops his healing permanently. Well, not permanently, but just for a brief amount of time, basically, just to hurt him. So, Cover Bonds just stop. And you just see in his eyes, just tears about to fall down. And, oh, man. Well, that's going to show you how Celestial Dragons are, right? Not Celestial Dragons, but God's Knights under the Celestial Dragons. So that happens, and then you got the memory of not only Brooke that's appearing in Gunko's memory, so that's resurfacing, but you got, it's not even where Brooke died and he ate the devil fruit. Well, ate the devil fruit and then died, and then became where he is right now, like a skeleton, yo-ho-ho, right? But it's the point before he made Luffy and before he died. So that's fun. So that prompted a memory, and I'm guessing the memory was too much, and I think Aim sees like one of his, how can I put this? I guess Aim decided it was a good opportunity. I won't say good opportunity, but it was more like he sensed something, decided to descend upon the mortal realm of the lowest people, take control of Gunko, which was God's sign, and has the same power, by the way, and decided, you know what? I'm gonna lend you my aid, basically. He definitely said, you know what? I guys here, and I sent you guys here for a damn reason. It seems like y'all need some help or require additional military force. So wherever this is probably big, right? So Eam just decided, so, you know what? If y'all need to get this done faster, do whatever y'all need to do, good. So Aim decided to take over Gunko and was like, all right, I took over, now let's get this done. And he even says, Mu will show the dominion of a god. That's pretty interesting. And you know what too, on top of that, since the one of the left hand of not the gods, but the king of the pirates is down, don't know if he's down for the count, but he's down, and he fell toward, you know what? I want you think too, because you got not only Luffy and the rest are down there, but if Scarborough Bond falls towards where Luffy and the rest are, that would shock them. It's like, you guys need to get back up there immediately, because if you don't, well, everybody else is fucked right now. We might end up dying, all of us, including your friends. But if you like this chapter, this video, subscribe and like and comment down below if you think that, well, Aim might end up doing some crazy things. What are your theories about Aim? Because let's be honest, Aim basically sensed something was about to happen and decided, or let me give you a better outlook. He foresaw a future where one of his God's knights is flipped to another side, to an allied side, basically, and help the Straw Hats. So that prompted him to, oh hell no, this ain't happening. Might as well take over a body now and lend additional support, because y'all not getting this done, and Marijois is in flames, basically. The Holy Land's in, he himself says the Holy Land is currently in the Sea of Flames, which brought back what Saint Summers did tell with Saint Shamrock to Figureland to return to the Holy Land, because right now it's up in flames right now and they need him back there immediately. So Shamrock's not there. He returned this. I'm betting that's what's still going on right now. However, we don't get much information on what's going on in the Holy Land or why is it in the Sea of Flames. Nothing like that. So that's important. So also comment down below if you think Scarborough Bond is going to fall where Luffy is, and be like, what's going on? All right. So see you again, and see you next adventure. Laters.